Welcome back to Face the State on this Sunday morning. The race for Hartford is Connecticut's hottest race of 2019, and it's starting to get pretty exciting. Mayor Luke Bronin is up for re-election, and former Mayor Eddie Perez is trying to get his old job back after resigning in disgrace nearly a decade ago. The former mayor is with us here today to talk about his campaign. Mayor Perez, good to see you here in the program.
Thank you for having me, Dennis.
First of all, a basic question. Why should voters send Luke Bronin home as mayor? Why do you believe he needs to be replaced?
Dennis, I've been out in every neighborhood in Hartford over the last 4 months, and the big question is whether people in Hartford neighborhoods feel that Luke Bronin has done a good job making sure that their neighborhood is safe, clean, and that the benefits that are happening to downtown get shared and ripple out into the neighborhoods. So that's the big question. The big question is, are our neighborhoods connected to the overall growth for the city? And I think I'm hearing a resounding no. There was 6,000 people who signed my petition, 3,000 people who signed Brendan McGee's petition. That's an indication that people are looking for a choice.
As people drive around the city, though, they see signs of progress. There are new buildings. There are new apartments. Many new residents have moved to the city who were not here when you were mayor. They keep moving in. So they would appear to be obvious signs of progress.
There are signs of progress in the central business districts. There are not signs of progress in each and every neighborhood. I think the biggest concern people have, they see more potholes. They see there's a challenge in this, for the city administration to pick up the garbage on time. They have a policy about picking up bulky waste that hasn't worked, which people are really dissatisfied with. And then there's a whole question of whether the city's moving forward together.
Are you the right choice to be the next mayor? Why would it be better under you than it is under Mayor Bronin?
Well, my administration, I think that when I'm door knocking, the first thing I hear, which is very gratifying and humbling, is that people remember that when I was mayor, that my administration included each and every neighborhood. Under my administration, people saw their garbage picked up, the fire department was working, the police department working. I made a big investment in education. And those are the things that people are asking for again. They're asking for to make sure that schools are working, that the city services are working, and that their neighborhood is being taken care of.
Was Hartford a better place to live and in better shape 10 years ago when you were mayor than it is today?
I think we were the rising star. We were the rising star of New England. People felt part of that rising star, and people felt connected. And I think overall the schools were doing a little better. They were on the upward trend. Right now they're stalled and maybe going down. I think the morale of city employees, whether it's the police department, fire department, public works, is at an all-time low. And the whole question is whether neighborhoods in Hartford, people who are the taxpayers of the city, are part of the revival.
There are some who say you betrayed the trust of voters. How do you regain it?
I regain it by hard work, Dennis. I've been here 40 years in public service. I'm going to continue to be here for another 20, 30 years, God willing. And people know that I'm a person that when I work hard, results matter. If you're a homeowner on Canterbury Street, on Cumberland, or on Kenyon, people know that their taxes have gone up over the last 2 years. Bronin continues to say he hasn't increased taxes. I know that there's less money going into the neighborhood libraries, to the schools. Our streets are crumbling, and there's a lot more work that we need to do in each neighborhood. I will bring every neighborhood together. I have an agenda that as I go door to door, people understand, which is your neighborhood matters.
Supporters of the mayor will say that he brought new jobs, new companies to the city. He points to some examples when you were mayor of companies leaving. MetLife, MassMutual, WFSB, the station here, all left the city under your rule.
Yeah, and what people need to be reminded of that when I started the school building program is a good example of employment for Hartford residents. Good jobs, good union jobs. Under my administration, that program, which started in 2003, is still going strong. It gets reimbursed by the state about 85% for neighborhood schools, 100% for magnet schools. As part of that program, 1,200 people became plumbers, electricians, and in the trades as a result of a good program to create jobs for Hartford residents.
Last week, you came out and you said that the mayor made an illegal loan to help finance Dillon Stadium in the city's south end near Colt Park. The Current did a little investigation, said that that's not true, and that the money was coming from another budget, another part of the city's budget, the Parks Department, which could go to that area. But you're saying it's still illegal. They're saying it's not.
Well, what I said was what's a public record. It's what the state auditors found, that the money was being spent without having a contract, which is not a good practice for government to do. The second one was that if you look at the public record about whether the stadium is part of the park, that money is supposed to be exclusively for park. I maintain it's not, because that's the advice I got 10 years ago when we were looking to develop that stadium.
After the Current came out with their investigation and a statement from Treasurer Cloud, do you still believe that it's an illegal loan?
Well, I believe that the money is supposed to be used in parks, and I hope it will be returned to be used in Hartford parks.
What's the biggest mistake in your judgment that Mayor Bronin has made?
Well, I think the biggest mistake he's made is his ambition. He doesn't want to be mayor for the period that it takes to turn Hartford around. He's already indicated that when he first ran, he said he would do at least a term and maybe 2 terms, because it was required in order to do the work in Hartford. Within 16 months of that announcement, he was looking to run for governor. I know that, and I think most people in the city and throughout the state, and in some cases as far as out in Beverly Hills, people believe that he's looking to run for another office and will not serve the 4-year term if he's elected, that he's looking to become a senator or maybe join the federal administration if the Democrats actually take over the U.S. government.
What do you believe? Do you believe that he's not committed to another 4-year term?
I believe that his ambition is a good thing for Mr. Bronin. It's not a good thing for Hartford.
So what should voters turn to you for? There are other candidates as well. There's Brandon McGee. There's a few others. Why you over them?
Well, the big reason to turn to Eddie Perez is for my record of service to this city for the last 40 years, and for the fact that I'm going to make sure that each and every neighborhood is part of the equation. When people are paying more taxes the last 2 years, Dennis, your house, for example, you're paying 10% more than you were 3 years ago. And the reason is that that amount of money, the taxes should be going into every neighborhood. All neighborhoods don't feel part of it. I could tell you, when I go door to door, people want to be part of a solution for Hartford. They want to be part of the solution. They're nervous about the schools. I know I could turn the schools around. I know what to do with the schools, and I've proven that before. And I think most people have the confidence that I will do that. What's
the first thing that you would do in your first 100 days if you get back in office?
My first thing is to convince folks that there is a economic development strategy that includes each neighborhood to create wealth for our residents and to make sure that our small business in our neighborhoods will be part of it. There are about 30 mayors across the country who have similar wealth creation strategies, and they don't depend on a silver bullet from downtown.
If you should lose the Democratic primary, will you run as an independent?
I have included my paperwork, and I expect today to hear from the register of voters that I will be on the ballot in November.
Regardless of party affiliation?
Correct.
Eddie Perez, former mayor of Hartford, running for mayor again.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Thanks for being on the program today. When we come back, we'll talk about improving tourism in Connecticut with the director of the Office of Tourism. And we welcome your comments on social media right now. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.